Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of the One of One Card Show. My name is Luke, and I am your host. And in this week's episode, we are going beyond the ring. We're going to be looking at wrestlers appearing in movie, TV, and other entertainment card set. So let's begin. We're going to go over the rules. We're going to be taking a look at which WWE superstars have appeared in movie and other card sets that aren't related to wrestling or sports. What are some examples and what do they go for? Now, a couple weeks ago, I looked at WWE superstars who have appeared in sports related sets, and I realized that I missed a couple. So we're going to take just a few moments to go over the few that I missed. Maybe I missed more, but I think these are the three that I missed. And some I can't believe I missed them because they were pretty obvious to me, or at least I think they are. The first, we have Draws or Puke, also known as Darren Drozdoff. He was an Attitude Era star. He played several seasons in the NFL. He was with the New York Jets just as a offseason or practice squad member, but he also played with the Denver Broncos in 1993, 1994, along with some CFL with the Montreal Alouettes. So we can see that Darren Drozdoff as a defensive tackle, he actually has a couple cards in 1993 cards for football. He has a Top Stadium Club card as well as a Bowman card from 1993, and they go for about $3 to the Stadium Club and about $1 to $2 for the Bowman. So again, these are not the most sought after cards in the world, especially since they do come from the junk wax era of the late 80s, early 90s. Next up, we have somebody who I cannot believe I missed. We have Ken Shamrock, who is an MMA, UFC fighter, legend. He was known as the world's most dangerous man. He's UFC Hall of Famer. He was in the Pioneer Wing in the class of 2003. So he's somebody who was in MMA for quite a bit of time. He obviously served as a special guest referee between the Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin match at WrestleMania 13, and he ended up transitioning into a professional wrestler in WWE for a couple of years, and even has been wrestling or has wrestled in TNA as late as just a couple of years ago. So he's made some on and off appearances in wrestling even after he left WWE. So you can see him. He was an Intercontinental Champion. I know some people felt as though he may have been, held back a little bit. Maybe he could have been bigger, but he wasn't necessarily the greatest promo deliverer. So, yeah, that might have been why. What did his cards go for? Again, he's in a lot of UFC sets in recent years. You can see a one of one Topps Gold Label UFC Gold Label autograph going for $810. And you can see a 2023 Panini Immaculate UFC 30 years numbered out of 30. That is an auto, sticker auto, but again, going for $41. So again, Ken Shamrock certainly does have a fan base in the MMA community for cards. And he is also back with WWE signing stuff in the last couple of years as well, or at least the last year or so as well. And next up, somebody who had a role in the Attitude Era of WWE. He was also in NWA as well, in other wrestling associations. But we have Dan the Beast Severn. He's a UFC and NWA Hall of Famer. He was very successful in the early years of UFC, competed in a lot of different MMA promotions throughout the world. He was, you could see all the different title belts that he had in wrestling. He would travel around quite a bit, but he did have a little bit of stay in WWE in the late 1990s. In addition to being a UFC and MMA fighter, he did have freestyle wrestling background as well. So he's a set. He appears in a set called the 1990 Collegiate Collection, and one of his cards in an SGC 9.5 went for $99 recently. And he also has a UFC card as well and a Panini Immaculate UFC Marks of Greatness. It is out of 99, going for $34. So again, he's somebody who does appear in sets over time. You can see the early 90s one, as well as a 2021 Panini Immaculate. So those were the three that I missed. So now we're gonna that who appeared in sports sets. So now we're going to be looking at the wrestlers who appeared in movies, TV, and other entertainment cards. Let's begin. We're going with maybe the best actor who was once a former wrestler, and that is Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista has had a very, very successful movie career, appearing in a lot of different big movies, blockbuster movies, as well as having some roles in big movies that are critically acclaimed, but he also has some smaller roles that are also very critically acclaimed as well. So you could see he played Drax the Destroyer in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for almost 10 years. A widely successful role for him that really helped him break out in his post WWE career as Drax the Destroyer. Very funny role, very great role, and in terms of action for him. He has a lot of cards as Drax the Destroyer. You can see Upper Deck. He appears in a lot of sets from them. If you want to go on the lower side of things, he is in a Marvel Allure set in a white diamond out of 50. That's a very nice looking card design. I don't know if that's necessarily the greatest picture, but maybe Drax just doesn't photograph well. Um, it went for $5 a couple months ago. And you can see over there if you want to get an autograph card for Batista in his Drax the Destroyer in a film sells auto out of 100 from the Avengers Infinity War set. That sold for $56. So definitely not necessarily the same level of what a Batista auto would go for in some other sets that we might see coming up, as well as his wrestling stuff. So let's move on. Dave Bautista again appeared in the 24th James Bond film Spectre as Mr. Hinks. I really liked Bautista's character as Mr. Hinks, but I felt as though, just like the movie itself, there were some flaws to the character. I felt as though he should have been utilized maybe a little bit more. I felt as though Batista should have been maybe coming back one last time at the very end of the movie. I'm not going to spoil it, even though it's at almost 10 years old at this point. But they could have done maybe a little bit of better job with him. But Batista appears in a decent number of Bond sets. Upper Deck has had the license for some Bond sets in the last couple of years. You can see there's a really big Bond set, the 2024 Upper Deck James Bond Black Diamond set. He has an out of 199 card that sold for $12. Again, not a big amount, but obviously it's a not necessarily the greatest parallel in the world either. In addition to that, he has a lot of cards, especially auto cards in the James Bond archive sets from this company called Rittenhouse. Those are what's called the full bleed autos, and I think those are really nice. That card most recently sold for $180 on eBay back in April of 2025. So that's a really nice card. My personal favorite card, though, of Batista in the Mr. Hanks role has to be this one. It's the 2017 James Bond Archives from Rittenhouse. It's a really nice card, really clean autograph right there, but it is listed for $500. But it says it's best offer, so you might be able to get it for a little bit less. Very nice looking card, though. And if you think we're going to move on to another person, no, Batista again pops up in a different set. Batista is also in the Dune franchise as well as Raban Harkonnen. He has a Topps ended up producing a very limited set of 500 last year back in 2024 called the Topps Dune Release Day set. And these cards can actually be pretty sought after because, again, only 500 sets of them. So we can see over here, most of the cards were numbered out of 150 or less. So the base is really just the out of 150. That went for $31. But you can see the lower parallels, like a red foil in a P out of 10 in a PSA 10, currently listed for almost $1,300. Now, again, are people going to pay $1,300, or is that person's fantasy of hoping that they actually can sell it for that much? Who knows? We'll find out maybe down the line. So you can see though that this is a pretty popular set of Batista and others like Timothy Chalamet. Next up, we have John Cena. John Cena has an unbelievable role as the Peacemaker in the DC Extended Universe. And, both the movie of Suicide Squad back in 2021, as well as the role of Peacemaker in the HBO or HBO Max series. Max, they just announced today, actually, it's going back to HBO Max. John Cena has a role in that series, Peacemaker, with season two coming out later this year. John Cena appears in a couple sets as Peacemaker of sets that are produced in Asia. You can see over here the 2022 Sanshu China DC Extended Universe trading cards. John Cena's cards, though, in this don't go for a lot of money, although the cards themselves are quite striking, quite visually stunning. Now, in terms of parallels, they do have a super short print facsimile auto, so it's not actually John Cena's autograph, it's just the facsimile of it out of 200. Those are listed for 150 or best offer. You're obviously going to be able to get it for a little bit less. But that's a really nice looking card. But you can get some of the base cards in this set for as low as $9 on eBay. I think they're really cool. I think those are, in terms of visual and design, some of the better cards that I've seen in recent memory. So yeah, maybe you go out and get a couple, or at least maybe I might do that. Next up, we have John Cena again appearing. Again, he's somebody who's in the Fast and Furious universe. He was in several of the Fast and Furious movies at this point as Jacob Toretto, the brother of Dom Toretto, Vin Diesel. So there's a set that was produced. It looks like it came out in the movie theaters, and it looks like it might have been maybe like passed out if you went to the movies on maybe premiere night or opening night, and at the IMAX. Or I'm guessing because obviously you can see the logo on the back of the set. These are available for under $5 on eBay. You can get them relatively cheap. It looks like almost just like the poster shrunk to trading card size for Jacob Toretto. Not a bad card if you're a fan of the Fast and Furious movie, particularly Fast X. I was not a fan of it, but John Cena is not bad in that role that was given to him there. Okay, let's now continue on. We can see Andre the Giant. Maybe somebody who should have been in more movies, but you can see Andre the Giant, as we know, he was Fezzik the Rhyming Giant in The Princess Bride. So with him being in that role, he actually has a Magic card, Magic the Gathering trading card. Somebody created it. I'm not really a Magic the Gathering player, but this is a card that popped up a couple times of me looking for this information, and they don't go for a ton of money. If you're a Magic card player, they usually sell for about 12 to $14. It's a cool card if you're an Andre the Giant fan or a fan of The Princess Bride, and also maybe you just like to play Magic the Gathering. Uh, Now this is a really weird one. Bill Goldberg, yes, the Bill Goldberg has a role in the movie Looney Tunes Back in Action from 2003. Yes, that same one with people like Steve Martin in it. And he has a role as Mr. Smith. And they had a trading card set for that movie. That movie did not do well at the box office, really. It was a flop. Not a lot of people talked about it, but he has a trading card in both a base that sells for about under $3 on eBay. And in addition to that, there's an auto card. So Bill Goldberg has an auto card in a Looney Tunes trading card set. Uh, Most recently, the auto cards they sell for around like 40-ish dollars. You can see one over here sold for about $43 on eBay back in March of 2025. So yeah, that's an odd set. Definitely one of the stranger ones. Next, we had talked about The Rock having cards before in the Scorpion King set and the Mummy sets. The Rock, in my Rock video that was published a couple months ago, The Rock has a complete set of the 2002 Inkworks Scorpion King trading card set. Goes for about $10 to $12 on eBay. So if you're a big Rock fan and you didn't even realize that it existed, you can get complete sets in that for, under 15 bucks. In addition to that, he does have a card that appears in the 2001 Inkworks Mummy Return set, which is different. Imagine they're producing trading card sets for these sorts of movies that are, I mean, obviously they were blockbuster movies and did well then, but like they're not necessarily talked about all that much today per se, other than it being, The Rock's first movies. The Rock as the Scorpion King auto card back in February sold for over $5,000, $5,530. And as you can see, that's definitely not going to be an autograph that would grade all that well by PSA because there's not he needed to use a better marker, I'll say on that one. But yes, over $5,000. That's going to be one of the more sought after cards in the, WWE wrestlers having cards outside of wrestling. But as we know, rock cards are rolling, said the video from a couple months ago. In addition to that, uh, Hulk Hogan, we know, appeared as Thunder Lips in Rocky 3 from the early 1980s. So it should come to no surprise that Hulk Hogan as Thunder Lips appears in the Allen and Ginter set from Topps back in 2015. Allen and Ginter is such a strange set that, takes its inspiration from the Allen and Ginter sets from the late 1800s, and it's kind of got that old timey feel where you might be opening a baseball card and you might get Mookie Betts in it, but then the very next card might have a random celebrity or random thing that you're just like, why do I have a card that has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on it? But Hulk Hogan as Thunder Lips appears in the 2015 set, and you can get it for under $6 on eBay if you were checking that one out. And if we have Hulk Hogan as Thunder Lips from Rocky 3, we might not want to forget about Mr. T as Clubber Lang. Mr. T, we can't forget, was a participant in WrestleMania 1 and 2 in the main event of WrestleMania 1, and he was in one of the main events of WrestleMania 2 because they had the three locations. Mr. T, you could get one of those sets as Clubber Lang, or one of those cards as Clubber Lang in a PSA 9 for $10.50. So that person who sent that in to get graded, they lost money. Um, if I were trying to seek out a Clubber Lang card, though, I'm quite a big fan of the Allen and Ginter X card, which is a black background rather than the beigey white background that normally happens in or normally exists in the Allen and Ginter set. But those ones obviously go for a little bit more because they were not necessarily as printed as much. But those are, nice design for Allen and Ginter. Although, once you see an Allen and Ginter, they kind of have a samey vibe to them year after year. Next, this is a very strange one. This is kind of a custom set where it's Rowdy Piper as the role in They Live. It's a kind of an underrated role. It's kind of a cult classic at this point. This is a card pack of him from the Super Secret Fun Club. It's a very like it's an artist collective, it seems like, who creates a lot of very custom but very well done card sets and just a lot of entertainment items. There's not a lot of information that I have about it, but one's listed on eBay for about $30. And you can see it plays off of the They Live, Obey stuff, that you probably see a lot of, from visuals and in other forms of entertainment. And Andre the Giant being the Obey person, if you ever didn't know that. Next, we have probably one of the stranger appearances here. I'm sure if you've ever participated in any bit of wrestling trivia, you know that Kevin Nash, aka Diesel, aka Big Sexy, was Super Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze back in 1991. So He has a card in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set from 1991 as Super Shredder. And if you're an individual who wants to pick up like a set of four of them, you can get them for about $3 total. Again, these are not sought after cards. It's a very, very junk wax era of cards. But if you do want to get an autographed one, the certified autograph ones graded by both Beckett or PSA usually go for over $100 if you're going to get it autographed. I'm not going to lie. The one with the green ink auto on the right, that's a really, a sharp pen is quite nice, especially with the ooze. It is Secret of the Ooze. So there you have it. Did I miss anyone at this point in time? I think I went through every single wrestler who appeared in any sort of set connected to TV, movies, and other entertainment. Please be sure to subscribe to the One of One Cards channel on YouTube, as well as the One of One Cards channel on Instagram. My name is Luke. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Goodbye.